I'd like to call this meeting, the Palmyra Borough Council, to order. Everyone, please rise for a Pledge of Allegiance and a moment of silence for the armed services. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Brenda, may we please have roll call?
Absolutely. Counselor Andrews.
Present.
Counselor Catalani.
Here.
Counselor Flegel.
Here.
Counselor Coroli.
Here.
Counselor Rydell.
Here.
Counselor Trichet.
Here.
Counselor Shear.
Here.
Mayor Miller.
Here.
We have a full house.
Okay. Just a reminder to please silence all cellular devices during the meeting. Thank you. And council members, please turn on your microphones if you have not already. All right. Special visitors, none scheduled, which takes us to public comment period number 1. Please state your name and address for the record and try to limit your comments to 5 minutes.
My name is Mark Martin. I live at 7 Sandalwood Drive. I came this evening to request consideration for the addition of some rapid flashing beacon crosswalk signs at the intersection of Forge and Walnut Street, and also Cherry and Railroad. I think I had spoken one time with Mr. Powell about this. We have 2 children, both they now go to Forge, but when they will go to middle school, they'll have to walk across Forge before the crossing guard gets there, and then also cross Railroad, both of which at that hour of the day are fairly busy, and there's quite a few other families in our side of town that I know will be doing the same thing. I got a whole packet of information from South Londonderry Township that installed on Northside Drive and on across 322. There's also some in Annville. They came in under budget, and they, at least from what they expected, were less than they expected to spend, and they have seen improvement of how noticeable they are when used for stopping traffic. So, yeah, just hoping to, I didn't know what the process was to possibly get this considered or in a budget, and that's why I came to bring that to the attention.
Thank you. And you said they were already installed, you said Northside Drive?
Yeah.
And where else?
Across 322, right by Brassfield Over.
Thank you.
And I do have, his name is Richie Divert. He's the assistant manager at South Londonderry Township. And he sent me all the drawings, every permit, budget, everything they have for it.
Could you, you get that information to Roger, so at least we have that if we want to pursue anything? Please, thank you. Anybody else for public comment?
Hi, my name's Dave Koch. I live at 137 North Railroad Street.
I'm Mary Smith, and I'm 137A North Railroad Street.
So when we were here a month ago, we asked about Division Street, which is really the alley that's in between our building and the Caring Cupboard, about it being paved. Like the prep was started, I guess it would have been summer of,
Last year.
yeah, 2024, and then they knocked down the alley, but then it's been nothing.
It was
ever
aborted.
since. Yeah, so, just
So-
following up.
And last time we were here, you said that you have a paver, but it needed fixed. So I was wondering if that paver got fixed yet. Do you have any idea when that paver will be fixed?
The paver's basically, it's dead. It's not worth fixing. Parts aren't available, so we need a new paver. So we're looking at other options right now to try to, do we have the manpower to rent a paver and try to get it done? We're gonna look for bids from local contractors to see if we can, if we have the money to get it done this year. So that's what we're working on currently.
I just have a question. So last year, when you prepped the whole street to pave it, and you said everybody was there that was working on it, said it was getting paved, why did that get aborted? Why did you not do it at that time?
I don't have an answer for you on that. It's a mystery to us too. I mean, the superintendent that was here at the time is not here anymore. So he set that up to get started. I don't know if it was a problem with the paver that he didn't realize, and, you know, we've found out now that the paver's basically dead. I don't know. I don't have an answer for that.
Because Donna had just paved, Donna Hetrick is our landlord, she had just paved our parking area. And then you guys came along and cut it back and stuff. Now we have like
There's a lip.
a lip,
just-
like yay big, to get up into our parking because you guys dug it out to pave.
Right.
So now we have a lip like 2-3 inches that we have to go up and down every day. So something needs to be done sooner than later.
I mean, is it reasonable to ask that there'll be some sort of update by the next, what are these, once a month?
Yeah.
Is what they are,
Twice a
Les?
month.
Twice a month.
So we
Yeah.
come once a month. So by the next month, when we come, will we have some idea of what's going on?
I hope so. I can't guarantee that though.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just not good for our cars to keep going up and the potholes in the alleys. I mean,
I know our crew's been in there several times to address the pothole issue.
yeah, and then you know what, it's all chunked tar, that whatever you get it from, so you spread that on. If we walk in that alley, now we have black floors in our house because of this chunked tar that is put in the alley.
After a good couple of rains too, it just starts to, it's almost like it just starts to fade away anyway. It almost seems like the potholes are worse than they were before they got filled. Look, we're not trying to be abrasive, man. We just, you know, like, it was a year, and here we are,
Yeah,
like, over a year later, and it's,
trying to figure out
yeah,
what's
just like,
happening.
what's up, you know?
Yeah,
So, well, you know what? We'll be back here in a
We'll be
month,
back
and
in
we'll
a
just
month.
ask again, so.
Anybody else for public comment? Okay. All right, closing public comment period number 1, moving on to the consent calendar. The following agenda items will be acted upon by a single motion unless a member of Borough Council wishes a specific item to be voted on separately. Approve the minutes of the August 12th, 2025 Borough Council meeting. Approve payment of all bills listed on the July 2025 detailed checklisting report. And approve the treasurer's report for the period July 1 through July 31st, 2025.
Motion.
All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Action and discussion items. Resolution 2025-05, appoint member to zoning hearing board. Discussion on and if appropriate, suggested motion to approve Resolution 2025-05, appointing Donald R. Pop, 106 North Lincoln Street, as a regular member of the zoning hearing board to fill the unexpired term of Tara Betts, expiring December 31st, 2026.
Motion.
Second.
All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? All Great, that takes us to East Ridge Road, Melrose, Phase Number 2, final land development and lot add-on plan.
Before we start, there were 2 blank pages in this. Was that intentional? Usually they say, or was it, do you think there was, it just fed wrong, or?
Well, yeah, we had trouble printing that. We've been having issues with the copier a little bit, so I actually had to print these twice, I think.
Yeah, August has not been technology month for us.
I didn't know if there was a page missing, or if it, sometimes copiers feed 2 pages through, so.
All right, who wants to go first? I need to read the motion first, or can we just discuss? Right, that's what I thought. Thank you. All right, so one of the questions I have, about 3 meetings ago, I believe we had said that the road, the pipe under Ridge Road, was to be fixed before we proceeded with, Phase 2. Has that been fixed, do we know?
I don't know for sure. The developer and his team is here, so.
Hi.
Good evening, Bill Swarnick with David Miller Associates.
I would ask you to go to the microphone, please. Thank you.
I'm Bill Swarnick with David Miller Associates. With me also is Claudia Shank, representing the applicant as their attorney, and then Bob Riahi and Heather. I can't remember this. Heather, thank you. We are here for your consideration of Phase 2. To answer your question, has the pipe been fixed under the road? I think we are waiting for some guidance as to exactly what would happen with that pipe on the downhill side, downstream side. So with that direction, I think we can put a final condition to that pipe and be done. Right now, there's an opportunity to, I believe there's still an option to have the pipe directed a different direction, but that has yet to be, I guess, determined at the borough level. So
So they can't connect the pipe
the pipe is
until
there.
we figure out what we're doing?
The pipe is there, the solution that would be installed or has been installed and would be continued would just be what was on the original plan. There was an alternative that would direct this water to a different location, so.
Okay, I'm lost.
So my
Pipe either comes down and goes to the one
Yeah,
direction and goes down into, or it goes down the other. It's not their pipe to make that determined. The one pipe is our pipe, the other pipe goes into
Why,
the horse.
for the last 3 meetings, have we been talking about them connecting a pipe? I don't get it.
The applicant is willing to, and has expressed willingness to participate in the relocation of that pipe.
Great.
So we are just waiting for guidance and direction on what is to take place. And we'll If the pipe is to not be connected in an alternative location, it'll just be finalized as it exists at that location, and that'll be the solution to that discharge for that pipe.
Let's verify which pipe we're talking about. How's that?
There's a pipe on the eastern side of the development that existed, is in place, it was removed. Another pipe was put in at a different elevation. That pipe will just be finalized in that location. This isn't
Right now, it's kind of like this, right?
correct.
Okay, that's the pipe I'm thinking of.
Yeah,
Okay.
so it will have to be adjusted to be at what was the original elevation.
Right.
But there is a solution, it would just return it to the existing condition. There was an option, a possibility of it being connected at a different location or having a different discharge that would allow it to go down the adjacent road. And if that's not a possibility, that's not something the borough is worth pursuing, then it'll just be finalized in its location.
Is there anything wrong with having that pipe connected now? I mean, we're not taking it to the east, we know that.
So it can't go to the horse farm.
Right,
Yeah, they said no.
Right.
Heard that? No.
right.
That's out.
I did reach out to PennDOT. I have a conference call with them Friday morning.
Yeah.
So about possibly going, revisiting going down Grant Street, that type of thing. I don't know what I'm gonna hear, I have no idea, but that's one of the only other options. Except for if the property owners would allow the pipe to be connected and sent south and then west to Lincoln Street. That's kind of the only other option that's still viable at this point.
Okay, well,
South where? What was the second option, Roger? South to what?
It would come south down the hill to east-west alley, and then it would go west in that alley. Over to North Lincoln Street.
You're gonna need an easement from the property owners for
Right,
that.
right,
Right.
And
right.
there is a question whether or not you can get that.
right.
because we would have to have it from all of them, even if one says no, it's.
Okay.
Yeah, because the current pipe that's there, PennDOT does not have an easement for that. No, they,
PennDOT.
well, yeah, but it's,
Yeah.
was put in by PennDOT
Yeah. and
years
they never
ago,
got
and there's
easements.
no easement from the property owners. So, in essence, property owners can say, hey, PennDOT, off my property.
All right, so you're meeting with PennDOT this Friday.
And there's substantial cost to the borough for these changes.
Well, yeah, there's gonna be any pipe extension, inlet installation, that's gonna be on us, which the developer's willing to use a portion, this park and rec fee money to get us as far as we
Part
can
of
go.
it, yeah.
Part of it, yeah.
Okay.
So from what I'm hearing now, this pipe cannot be connected until we figure out how to solve this problem.
Well, yeah, if all the options go away, then it's back on the developer. Do they dig up the road, put the pipe at the proper elevation, or do they try to figure out a way to connect the pipe
Okay.
so that it can outlet where it currently does? Basically have to line those pipes back up right.
Okay.
Okay. So design, okay, I'm a little confused. So I'm sorry if this is a stupid question,
No, stupid.
but are you okay with waiting till his meeting on Friday?
Well, I think we would, I understand the concern relative to the development and as it relates to the storm pipe. I think in order for the continued contribution that's been expressed, it would make sense to proceed with the development as it's been previously reviewed and approved as a preliminary plan, so that the developer chose to break it into 2 phases for their staging of construction activities. But I think it would be beneficial if all of the improvements were made, and therefore the contribution could be made in total as well to the stormwater improvements. I will note that only a portion of this second phase contributes runoff to this area. A fair bit of it goes to the west towards Railroad. Again, the plans are consistent with the preliminary plan. We haven't changed the number of units, the design is the same. This phase has been reviewed. We did get a couple of review comments, and we've addressed the minor comments that were a part of that, and would ask to just allow for the plan to continue. The willingness to participate in this doesn't diminish whether or not we have this phase approved or not. And Bob can speak to this, he's expressed the willingness to participate in this, and we'll finalize the pipe in whatever way it needs to be finalized, so.
So do you have an idea of how much of Phase 2 stormwater would be directed south and how much would be directed west?
If you go to, I think,
Yeah, which sheet
one of
number
the
is it?
last
Well,
pages, and it's,
Try to read these things.
you can do it for yourself, it's kind of a.
Keep going.
Yeah, you're gonna see big bold lines on there. There you go. Oh, go back one.
Or the next one.
This is the one that has been constructed over here. So there is a portion that still goes off to the west, and then this portion goes to, or I'm sorry, this goes to the west, this goes off to the east. And just as a reminder, the majority of this gets managed in this basin, which I think, I mean, our opinion and the calculations show that it's a reduction in the rate of runoff that goes into that watershed. So there's a management of that water that would otherwise not be managed. And again, this pipe that crosses under the road serves more than just the development. The Hanshaw property that is located in the neighboring municipality, and there's a fair bit of that land that also drains to this crossing pipe. Which is this land here.
See, my concern here is, and I've been up there when it's been heavy rain, is we had this other road on there. Now we're gonna possibly flood out more of our residents. We already got a pile of on one side, and I've been up there during the storms, and I've watched that road turn into a river. And it flows straight down into their yards. I'm looking at the mapping, and I'm seeing the extension off of Chestnut that could do the same thing.
Yeah, so we're intercepting that water into our system as opposed to directing it onto Chestnut. There's a curb and stormwater system that brings it over, and right now it's unmanaged. The water that comes off of there is not managed. This runs,
Yeah,
the
it's
end of
running
the
everywhere
road.
where it wants to go.
yeah. And again, the design that we proposed is in accordance with the borough's requirements as it relates to rate control and volume control. I will note that this is a different underlying geology than is at I'll say, the south side of Ridge Road. This is a more, it's not the same limestone base, it's a different geology as a transition that occurs as you go up that slope. And this is a pretty porous condition up there, so there's a fair bit of infiltration. But again, to the point of the road crossing, if a decision's made that you can't do that, and it's not a practical solution, then we'll just finalize the crossing as it is.
If I may add, I'm sorry, maybe I'm not catching, or maybe we're all thinking the same thing, but yes, as we were running the road under, the pipe under the road, we thought that we were about 6 or 7 inches offset from the existing pipe that was there. So right now, we have connected it, but the manhole was not placed. So the connection is not obviously a permanent connection, but still any water that comes down that pipe does go into the existing pipe, but that's not the permanent solution, and we know that. So we went back to PennDOT. We redesigned the project, the crossing, and we went back to PennDOT to use a concrete pipe that would come up a little bit higher and practically sit right under the pavement. And then that would connect properly to the existing pipe. The reason we haven't done that yet was because the borough wanted to investigate other possibilities for that stormwater. And doing this obviously will cost us extra money to dig the road again and put a new pipe in at a higher level so that it would connect to the existing pipe. So we thought we had reached a meeting of the mind with the borough that we hold off from spending this extra money, and we contribute our recreation fees towards the ultimate solution which the borough and the neighborhood would consent to, and we will execute those for them so the borough will not have to go through using union contractors and so on, and it will cost less. So we agreed to all that, and I thought this was a package that would benefit everybody there. And I thought the neighbors wanted to do this, the borough wanted to do this, and I believe it's been before this council several times. And that's why we're holding off. We have a permit from PennDOT to redo this pipe at any time, yet you say that you're not going to consider an alternative route for this water. We will stop and we will go dig the road, connect to the pipe at the correct height, and we'd be done with it. It's just that we thought we're gonna save a little money, and we're gonna save the neighbors a lot of maybe problems in the future, and everybody will be happy, but it's not a requirement. But if we are forced to go and redo the road and everything, then we would ask that we be excused from participating in any other solutions that you choose for that water. That would be a borough project which you will approve if you decide to do it. That's where we are. So if PennDOT disagrees with any other solution that Roger has come up with, and he's tried very hard to find some solution. If they don't agree to any of it, then we'll immediately go back. Our permit expired and we renewed this. So I think we got a couple months' time to do this. And if not, because our PennDOT permit would expire again. And we put up bonds to do this, and so it's an assured thing. It's just a question of we're holding off to help, or we thought we're holding off to help the borough. So I hope
Thank you.
we all understand the same thing.
Yeah, we just,
Thank you. Just so we have a ballpark, do you know about how many months left you have on your permit?
We just renewed it. I think these are 6-month permits, are they not?
Actually, I think it's a year.
A year.
Okay, so,
I don't think we should, as a council, we need to make a decision.
I agree, I agree, I agree.
Yeah. But if you decide you're not gonna do another solution, then we'll immediately proceed to complete this, yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. I just have a question on something I noticed, and I just want to verify. Initially, way back, the initial conversations we had about this whole development, weren't you going to put a road off the west onto
An emergency access.
Gravel Hill? Is that still in the plans? I'm sorry, North Railroad, not Gravel Hill.
We were never going to connect to North Railroad because of the slope considerations, but we do have a stub into land that is located to the north. So there's a portion of the development that, there's a stub road that extends up to the north,
Right.
right here.
Mm-hmm.
And that would be available for interconnection with this property.
But there was never a road going off
There's
onto,
never a road
Nope.
going down.
Because
It's
it's
really steep and challenging.
Okay. Not even farther up, there wasn't a plan for it?
Well, we don't own the land up there, but this would accommodate
Okay.
if there was a connection where there's adequate site distance
Yeah.
and slope.
I thought there was supposed to be an emergency access road
Yeah,
coming
well,
out
there
of
is
there.
emergency
No,
access
that's
here.
down on the bottom.
This is the emergency
Remember
access.
something on
I'm
North Railroad.
remembering it like
There's
that.
something on,
Yeah, there's
Wish I had my
emergency access
plans.
at the end of Chestnut. So there's 2 points of egress formed by coming back out onto Ridge Road.
okay.
So is that that road that would go north to the upper property, is that off of this Tweed Lane?
Yes.
Okay, so is, I'm not sure how to phrase this question. So is that being done in the hopes that there's another phase to this eventually?
Well,
Or-
Mr. Yahi and Millfield do not own that land north,
Right.
but if there is an interest of that separate landowner to do something, it was prudent to provide that opportunity to connect so that they had an interconnection to the adjacent neighborhood, so that it wasn't, two
it.
landowners living right next to each other that
Like,
don't have a
yes.
neighbor,
Like
don't
we
have
have
an
Cherry
ability to
Street.
walk see the neighbor, so.
Is there a
I think
reason
that was the reasoning that was,
too why Tweed would not be a dedicated borough street? I
well,
read that would not,
the stub that is at the end was not, because it's not long enough to comply with liquid fuels, you can't go for liquid fuels on that. It doesn't make sense for that portion at this stage to be dedicated, because it would be maintained and owned by the homeowners association until sometime in the future when, if it were ever extended, then it could be, it's being constructed to meet all the
okay,
standards
so
of
it's
dedication.
not all of Tweed Lane that would not be dedicated, it's
Only
just that
that
little
stub.
section? Okay, sorry, then I read that wrong, because I thought it was the entire,
Yeah, this portion,
Street.
and it's basically the 2 units here, this portion would be held back so that this would be responsibility. It's gonna be built to all the same standards, it has sidewalks and
Right.
everything, but it's not gonna be offered for dedication.
okay,
Do we still plow it though?
no.
No, they do. Or the homeowners?
Yes.
Okay, got it. Okay.
Just out of curiosity, why Tweed Lane and not Chestnut, since you did North Lincoln around?
Why was it not connected there?
Why, yeah,
Well, when we did the original planning for this, it was the interest of those neighbors to limit having the whole development go out to their front yard. So that was a cooperative effort to not do that, and then this allowed us to connect directly to Lincoln. And to be honest, the site distance, I know we've had a lot of discussion about site distance with the modification to the edge of the road there. The site distance at Lincoln is much better than at Chestnut. And that, I think, shielded those residents to some degree from having brought all these new homes out past their front door. So it's just limited to the emergency access. But still allowing for the possibility for interconnection of pedestrian interconnection, because there's gonna be emergency access. People can walk there if they wanna meet their neighbors and that type of thing, but they're not driving every car past their house.
Anything else from anybody?
When I look at it, as I remember all the discussions that was from, the folks with that, was construction was up there. Water, we've had these discussions, you know, because water's gonna flow down the hill always, no matter what, because it's always there. But when the construction was done here, we have those two water locations that the water goes into each one of them. It fills them up, it retains the water coming off, so it doesn't fly down the hill as much, and then it's slowly drained off of those holding areas. So when the group of, our group here that has like the planning commission has already gone in and engineering, and these folks have engineering with all of the work that's been done to meet the state standards. All of that flows into those two areas which is really gonna protect the folks that live down below there better than what is currently happening. Because even though there's a couple streets in there and it goes over there, that water does get retained, but it does meet the standards of the state and also the engineering group. So I know there's been a ton of discussion about a lot of water flowing down, but this year we've had a ton of water flowing anywhere, because I have been on streets in Palmyra that the water has flown down. I've seen it over the tires of cars that generally would never have happened. So we probably wouldn't notice it as much, except for the amount of rain that we've had this year. But I think the amount of engineering that has gone into the process over here, I think is gonna actually benefit the folks that live down below there. So that's what I recall from all the discussions we've had through the time.
Well, my concern was, and I agree, we had an extremely wet spring. I'm concerned because obviously we have a video of water gushing down from that development. And now my concern is there's gonna be a little more water coming down.
Yes, I think it was brought to our attention at the my attention at the planning commission, that there had been some, especially, there was a really extreme storm, I don't know, it was a week or two
Yes.
before the planning commission meeting. I think there was some construction, conditions that were in place. For instance, they don't have the wearing course on the road yet. So some of those inlets in the road, the water isn't getting into them yet, because there's like a lip around the edge of the inlets. So that resulted in some more water coming down the roadway that would otherwise, in the permanent condition, once the road is finished paved, would go into the inlets and get into that basin. So that's one element, and I think there might have also been maybe some debris or, a clogged, they put filters in the inlets to capture sediment before it gets off the site, and I think one of those may have been clogged.
So you're saying these inlets, sort of like, okay, so my development, the streets are not finished. So all our manhole covers are sitting up.
The
So
inlets are the
you're
same
saying it's
way.
the same, basically the same thing as that,
And that'll be
once the roads are paved.
it'll be, repair, or, the word repaired isn't right.
Completed.
Right.
It'll be fixed before it's offered for dedication.
I know you're saying that, but the problem is, when I sat up there during a storm, it wasn't going around them, it was going straight over the drains. It wasn't collecting at all, it was going right over, it wasn't even going in the
Are
drain.
you the gentleman who did the video?
Not that one.
Oh,
Yeah, so I think that contributed to the reason why they weren't being as effectively
Yes,
effective. And it's a cascading thing. If all the inlets are not getting what they should be getting, we place them, and it's required that they be placed at intervals to allow for this depth of water to be reduced. So I think that's an interim condition that is gonna be remedied.
What needs to happen before that road is permanently paved?
I think that the number of dwelling units has to be, the other thing, if we're gonna offer the roads for dedication, you don't wanna have them built and then have construction equipment
Right.
beating them up. So clearly there's gonna be a time period, and maybe there's an interim condition putting these little I don't know if you've seen this, but they can put scuppers in, they're temporary pavement on the surface to kind of channel the water into the inlets. They're not really great for plowing in the winter, and they really could be dangerous for people driving over them, but that could be done if it's.
So do you have a construction percentage that needs to be done before the streets are dedicated?
I think we need to be done with, I don't know, 1% of the units
Well,
remaining or
it's
something.
really actual finished surface paving, since these will become public roads which will be maintained by Roger. You can pretty much say whenever Roger says, okay, to do it, we'll do it. But I don't think he would want those paved now, because
No.
all the paving will be ruined during the construction.
Down to 1 or 2 units.
So.
So are we talking the end of phase one, or are we talking the end of phase two?
We can,
No, each phase,
we could.
Each phase
Stands
is
on its
separate?
own, yeah.
Okay. That's what I was
And
trying
I
to
will
find
tell
out.
you, that concerns me, because now I have lived in my house for 11 years, and our streets still are not paved or dedicated. And that development's 4 or 5 years older than I've been there, so. And I totally understand, nobody wants to pave a road and then have construction vehicles. That does not make sense either, so.
and I did some research, this rain that you had.
It was extreme.
A couple months ago, this is the worst rain, I think, any of our lifetimes you've seen in terms of rain per hour, the amount of water per hour. I don't think, for the last 15 years anyway, there's been anything like this, and this was what is more than what is defined as the 100-year storm.
Yeah,
in terms
I've
of
read
the
that
water
too.
amount.
That was
Yeah.
an extreme amount of water in a short amount of time.
Yeah, and then the water, there was some video that came on Facebook, and the water that was streaming across from Ms. Hanshaw's property was tremendous. It was a river. And imagine before our retention pond was built, an equal amount would have been coming from our property to join that. Right now, that amount was held back by our retention
'cause they-
pond and didn't come across.
At least the one closest to Ridge was full.
Yeah, some water ran down, cascaded down the road, but the water that was held back by our retention pond would have really done some serious damage if there had been no development on our property.
Anything else from anybody?
I think we should probably maybe see how his meeting goes on Friday. Just because if the PennDOT meeting goes well, that might help.
Here comes some water.
We have to, yeah. Don't we have to?
'Cause if
Yeah,
you-
the municipality's planning code gives us 90 days to
Right.
review and approve the
it's-
plan, and if
We
we don't
don't?
take action, it's a deemed
Right.
approval. And
Yeah.
tomorrow is the end of the 90 days.
Right.
That's why we have to
We
wait
have
So
for
to have
we can either
action
vote
tonight.
it through tonight, or we can let it go, and we voted it through tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The attorney speaks.
Took the words out of my mouth, yes.
And I like the optimism, Anthony. I'm just not sure that PennDOT is going to give us an answer on Friday anyway. I like the idea, but,
Probably would take some time, but.
yeah. And I'm not holding out much hope on that anyway, so.
Yeah, because look on Main Street with the water
Exactly.
down through there, you know, they're not even doing anything, so I don't think that's gonna have any effect.
Our engineers have okayed everything.
Yes.
There's, I mean,
Yeah.
as
yes.
far as I'm concerned, this is all,
Yeah, I
Did
agree.
you say water under the bridge?
no, I didn't say that.
Gonna.
I won't say that, but
I'll make the motion to approve.
I will second it.
Huh?
You gonna do a roll call vote on this?
No.
Oh, okay. You looked at me like you wanted to do a roll call vote, and it was like,
No, but then you were like, and I'm like, what? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Me.
Thank you for your consideration, I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I know.
I will.
Are you good without her? Without Brenda?
Can I,
Yeah.
can I just say something here? So depending on what, I seriously am not holding out much hope for a PennDOT meeting, but,
Oh, no, me neither.
but depending on the vibe you get from them, I think we need to make this decision soon. So if PennDOT says they're willing to think about it, great. If not, then I think we go through and get it, we just gotta get it done.
I want it on the agenda for
Yeah.
the next meeting.
Do you think, has any of like the state rep or state senate, like office helped you with PennDOT, with helping to push it through?
No, not really. I mean,
Do you think
they,
that
they
would-
basically told me to tell the residents that they should
Sue
PennDOT.
PennDOT.
and tell PennDOT, unless you have, can verify you have an easement there, you get the stormwater pipe off our property, because you don't have permission to discharge the water there. And I believe that is in the works.
I was gonna say that, I won't say anything.
Good luck Friday. We'll just leave it at that for now. Okay. I don't even know where we're at. Oh, yeah, President's report. Okay. I don't have anything. Nothing. Mayor's report.
I just happened to be on a little trip the other week, and I was in Maine, and I went through a town that I was not totally expecting at all, Palmyra, Maine, and it blew my mind when I was driving through these roads. And then I did a little bit of research, there's other states that have it, you know, New York, New Jersey, but I didn't know we had one in Maine, so I had stopped at the group in Maine, so that is, just makes you feel good, because we have a town that has names elsewhere, and I just thought that was an interesting, thing to see, so, just made me feel good at the time.
All you ever have to do is a Google search on Palmyra, and if you don't put PA in, you'll see them all.
Yeah.
I'm
There's
gonna
like
do that
15.
now, cause like I said, I was just driving, and this just popped out in front of me and blew my mind.
I think there's like 15.
And it's in the middle of nowhere, it's way up there, whoa.
All right. Anything else? Mayor, anything else?
No, I'm good, thank you.
All right, financial statement. Anybody? Nothing? Okay. That takes us to the fire department. Nothing? Okay. Takes us to the library report.
We had no library meeting this month, so there is no report.
Got my papers all disgruntled. Okay, that takes us to police report.
Chief, would you turn on your microphone, please? Thank you.
Any questions on the police report? I know, I'll just talk loud for her. I have a loud voice. Any questions on the report? Other than that, that's all I have.
Hold on.
I guess just a question, any change in like their mindset with South Londonderry, North Londonderry, or South
I'd like to
Anvil?
talk about that. We could talk about that after the meeting or at the regional meeting.
I actually have one.
Anything else?
No, I'm good.
Okay. That takes us to rec commission.
Meeting was on Wednesday, so I would expect the director's report in about 2 weeks? Probably,
Probably,
2 weeks,
yeah.
so.
Okay, solicitor's report, I don't remember seeing anything from her.
Just what was with.
Well, other than, yeah. All right, zoning and codes enforcement, zoning hearing board, hearing scheduled for Monday, September 8th at 5:30, 740 West Main. Gelato and Company continued from August 11th, seeking a special exception for substitution or replacement of a non-conforming use under section 380-128A and 380-139B of the Palmyra Borough zoning ordinance to establish a proposed multi-vendor indoor antique flea market bazaar style farmer's market in the main building and vendor overflow storage in the garage building within the highway commercial and town residential district. Borough manager's report.
I just received today that apparently this evening they are spraying for mosquitoes here. In fact, it's starting right now, 7:50 PM, it's supposed to start. Areas East Spruce Street, North Grant Street, East Ridge Road, North Forge Road, Memorial Park area, East Front Street, East High Street, East Broad Street, and in the area around Palmyra Shopping Center. And it's supposed to be completed by 10 PM. And they just say if they see people, they will shut up. It's a fogging machine, apparently. They said if they see people, they will turn off the fogging machine, and you're supposed to wait 30 minutes before returning to outside after they spray. So I just wanted to make sure everybody was aware of that, because I don't know how, this was a news release that they gave to all the local TV stations, news radio stations there, so I don't know how many people hear this stuff, but I thought since it's happening tonight,
Right
we'll
through
mention
it
it.
when I go home.
Yeah.
Is there any way we can request an area to be sprayed?
I'm not sure, the mosquito program is all done, it's the Lancaster Lebanon Conservation District people
The only
that
reason
have the
I ask
mosquito unit.
is because after the way that water sat, and they're now gone, but the way the water sat in that retention pond for 3 weeks after it rained, prime area for mosquitoes.
Yeah.
That should be sprayed.
They set traps at different areas, like they know what's going on because they know all the plans and they set traps and then they test the traps and if anything,
Okay.
Yeah, because that's the
Trouble
sprays
in
for West Nile.
West Nile, and so that's,
Okay.
you know.
All right.
And I don't know the total number of traps they set, but a couple of them did test
have,
positive for West Nile, so that's probably why they're doing a big spraying campaign, so.
Okay. All right. I mean, I don't think there's water up there now. I didn't look tonight. I didn't think to look.
Yeah, it was bone dry last week.
Yeah,
Last week I went
and I
up,
went
it was-
past
And we haven't had much
2
rain
days ago and it
since.
was still bone dry,
Yeah.
so. Okay. All right, anything else?
The only other thing is we got our, just before the meeting, we got our annual email from the Ag Preserve Board asking for donations, so, I'm sure the answer is no, you don't have to decide tonight, but you have it in your.
I
email.
will.
Yeah,
I'll make my decision tonight.
no. I don't think
The
we've
same,
ever,
it's
I don't
been
think we've
like
ever
every year.
participated, yeah. In their letter, they're
Good for
saying,
them, but
if they get $100,000, I think it makes them eligible for another pot of money, and I think they're at like 97.6 or something like that. So I think they're hoping that other people kick some money in and,
I wish them all the best.
Yep.
I just can't see spending taxpayer money when we got bigger issues to fry.
Yep,
that.
stormwater is a little bit more important.
The only other thing I wanted to bring your attention to is the sinkhole repair on East Cherry Street. We had a meeting there today with Bill Seaton, ARM Group, the property owner, Jack Custer, Public Works guys. We have a plan to do some repair work there. But the property owner asked me about sidewalk situation because the property across the street has no sidewalk. He has sidewalk, then there's a missing link section of sidewalk that had gone down previously and was never replaced, and then there's sidewalk starts again, and then it gets to our property where the detention basin is, and there's no sidewalk. So the question is, are we gonna require people to reduce sidewalks, put sidewalks in where they aren't now, or? Because there's really no, like, if you wanted to walk from,
Sidewalk goes nowhere.
it goes nowhere to get to Mavis or Members First or whatever will become of Rite Aid, and, you know, I don't know, so there's. And, you know, if we didn't put sidewalk on our property, which would be a big bill, but that would be an option as well. So to me, it's like, there's already sidewalk on the other side behind Mavis, because and it's part of their land development plan abroad, so there's just the property on the northeast corner of Cherry and Duke that does not have sidewalk. So that would be a connection. The south side really doesn't make sense, or we would have to put sidewalk up past the detention basin, so. So something to think about. I mean, the sinkhole's gonna be repaired, we're gonna let it sit over the winter or spring, see how everything goes, and then I told the property owner we'll revisit the sidewalk issue then, but just wanted to put it out there to get you thinking about it, so. And I think that's it for me.
Anybody have anything else? Sorry, guys, I'm taking notes. Give me a minute. Okay. Okay, no communications. Any other business? Chief?
Nope.
Mayor?
Sorry, no. Sorry, I apologize.
It's not on the, I never realized that. Was this not on the? Maybe it was left over from last month?
Oh, that's the zoning report?
Yeah.
Anybody have any questions on this?
Bill was out, we didn't have it for the first
Right.
meeting, so, yeah, I should have put it on.
Any questions on the zoning codes enforcement report? Okay. I missed that, sorry. All right, other business? Bruno?
I may not be here next meeting. It'll be a fun one, I'm sure.
Nope.
Roger, Brenda?
Nope.
Yep. All right. Public comment period number 2. Please state your name and address for the record and try to limit your comments to 3 minutes.
I'm Barry, 711 North Grand Street. I'd just like to remind everybody that the pipe that doesn't connect is in no way connected. And that drain that they connected to on the north side of the bridge was never intended to come from that property. And before they started developing, there was a ridge of property with grass in it that swale ran into, and very rarely any water came onto that roadway. That drain is on a slope that goes with ridge, intended for ridge and ridge only. And once, since I've lived there in 33 years, did I see rain come down that street, and that was in the 90s, and very little came off the Henshaw property. It was all from ridge, and it was pushing the bumpers on our vehicles.
Anybody else?
Dave Koch, 137 North Railroad. Couple quick things I wanted to follow up. So at one point, there was a paver, someone, this is going back to Division Street, the alley between the carrying cupboard and our place. So someone started that, but then the job got aborted. So I'm thinking like when is that ever acceptable? Like it's not. it's a year later, and I understand, like, we brought it up to you guys a month ago, and it's probably something that got pushed by the wayside, so I can understand why you wouldn't have any update or information. But I feel like there needs to be some sort of guarantee, man, about something when we come back. You could even be like, hey, we've put in 4 bids. There's 2 contractors competing for it at this point. Like, is that really too much to ask? I mean, it just seems like there's a lack of accountability somewhere. Like, someone's dropping the ball and it never got picked up again. So we came here in August, you guys just kind of looked at us, I get it. Now we're here a month later, it's pretty much the same thing. What is it, September 23rd, so at that point it'll be 2 months. Is it too much to ask to have just something, some sort of update? It just doesn't, maybe it is, but if it is, like, why? And if you can't give us answers, like, is there something, like, who do we go to then? Like, who is accountable for this? I honestly don't know, but someone is.
I understand your frustration.
Yeah.
And I know we have constantly in the past too much, I mean, we were short-staffed with
Sure.
Public Works. The paver wasn't working, now it's dead. I mean, I understand your frustration. It's just that things in government, especially local government, and we have people here in the public that can attest to it, they don't happen overnight. And sometimes they don't happen for months at a time.
Yeah, but this is a year later. Yeah, it's not overnight, it's not even months, it's over a year later.
I understand, again, the frustration. There's just extenuating circumstances that the borough has been dealing with. So, I mean, we had a public works guy. We had an assistant when he passed away. Then we had one and he's in an accident. Then he leaves us and now we have,
And we had another one that passed away.
yeah.
Well, I'll just say this, is that when you were here last, you said like April or something, I believe.
It was August.
Yeah, they were here last month.
Well,
Yeah.
It is August.
I know one of the last meetings you were here, we said that we were gonna look at it and see if we could fix it. And after doing that, we've determined that we probably need a new one. And so now we have to take the next steps. And so, of course, we're gonna see if we can fix it. And now that we know we can't, now we're gonna take the next steps. That is still a priority, I think, to everybody here, Roger, all of us. It just was unfortunate that it broke. But it hasn't been forgotten. I mean, it's in our notes and everything. And we don't like saying like, oh, you know, we haven't gotten to it and this and that. We want to fix that because we do have a guy on staff who can do that, correct? So once we get that, not fixed, sorry, once we get a new one, a used one, then we will be able to do that. And that will be with us for a long, long time. And then we'll be able to get back to what we were doing. So I appreciate you guys coming up here and keep coming up, but that's something that we're gonna now focus on and try to get one in so we can then continue the next step.
But
And
I
that's-
guess I don't understand, how you can prep the alley, be ready to go, and say you're gonna pave it, and then just don't do it, and that's okay?
No, I think
I
you're,
mean,
I think you're exactly correct. Like, how can you, but see, unfortunately, that supervisor is no longer here, and none of us know what he's thinking in his mindset. I mean, if that was me as supervisor, I would be able to tell you X, Y, and Z what was going on. We have a great team right now. We have a great supervisor. We just need to get that paver fixed. Not fixed, but a new one coming in that's used. And then we'll be able to go. And then we can, us up here can, and Roger as well, and Brenda, we can make sure like that's number one and that we're getting these done and make sure that if you're gonna get something ready, then that needs to be done within the next couple of days. But unfortunately, I don't know what he was thinking or doing, and he's not here to speak on behalf of that.
And by no means have any of us said that what happened last year with that alley is okay. But we need to move past that and work from now. Okay, so now we have a broken paver. So now we need to look at getting a used one that's gonna work for us within our budget and get that gentleman on our, crew, get that paver up, get the paver, get the gentleman on our crew, and now get out and get your alley fixed. but it's gonna take a little bit of time, because right now we don't have the paver.
We
And we
just got the
need-
paver, the guy who knows how to
Right,
pave
we
too.
just got that guy, so now we're working on getting a paver. And that's not gonna happen
And we'll
overnight.
get, and please, you know, feel free
Right.
to keep coming and, you know, and, because we want everyone to feel like they have a voice, so please, it doesn't bother me, I'm sure it doesn't bother them, so please.
I just feel bad every time you're, I'm like, oh, we still don't have it fixed, but
Yeah,
we are working on it.
And this is many alleys. It's,
Yeah.
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 it's not just ours,
Yeah.
obviously.
yeah.
But I do have another thing, the guy that was talking about the blinking traffic things, I agree 100%. I walk my dog all the time. People do not stop.
Oh,
I
and then you
came
get
back-
flipped off if you stop for somebody and the guy behind you flipping you off.
Or you get
because-
beat down.
I came back to the borough,
Just happened today.
came back to the police office, and I asked the lady, I said, how do you get people to stop without getting hit? You know, because, and she said, well, you have to be intentional, make it intentional. I said, well, I'm standing at the edge of the curb. No, you have to have at least 1 foot in the street. And I'm like, okay, so now I've trained my dog to stay 6 feet back, and I go
Yes.
and step in the street. And they still don't stop, including police officers, do not stop. And it's very frustrating. I mean, if the police don't stop, then how are the other people supposed to follow suit? They just, you know,
Well,
so.
okay, so just what you said, a lot of it is education. Because people think that if they're not, they have to actually be in the crosswalk.
Well, I'm standing,
I get it, I did it today for somebody and I stopped, and then, like I said, the guy behind me, I could see him in my rearview mirror flipping me off because I stopped. But, a lot of it is education.
how do we teach people that? How do we teach them?
I don't know.
What's the answer? I don't know.
I figure every time I stop, I'm teaching somebody behind me that they have to stop.
Or they're just getting mad and saying.
Yeah.
And one of the things we'll do is that lip you were saying about, we'll take a look at that and see if, what we can do in the meantime, if we can help with that situation. We don't wanna put something in there that would then create a problem when we pave it, but maybe there's something that we could do, and maybe we could send someone over and take a look at it. At least that could be fixed or something.
Getting in and out my driveway.
Anybody else for public comment?
Thanks, Roger.
Okay, all right. Closing public comment period number 2. Borough Council will conduct its next public meetings on Tuesday, September 9th, 2025, and Tuesday, September 23rd, 2025, beginning at 7 p.m. Motion to adjourn.
Motion.
All those in favor? Aye. Opposed?